What do you think?
I'm trying to figure out if we can ever say that one is more real than the other, or if they all just influence each other. They're all just one big tapestry, different threads, all weaving together to build this multiverse.
Everything is based on one's perception, and one's perception changes day to day, location, location, interaction to interaction. One person, while they might have a certain core to them, they change constantly, whether or not they're aware of it. You know, depending on which shard you look at, from what angle you look at it, you're going to see something else. You know, sometimes you're going to forget things that you've seen before. Sometimes you're going to focus more on one particular area. And I do think that everyone impacts someone else in some meaningful way, however obvious. I think that everyone is the main character of their own story, whether or not they believe it themselves. And in that sense, is anyone better than anyone else? Not really. Not when you're thinking about it as a collective. So why are you so engrossed in all this philosophy?
Because the end is coming.
Because you've seen it.
Seen it, I've heard about it, thought about it. I think we're all part of the end. Just how things continue after the end. How do the words carry on? How do we live on past our lives here?
Do you really think these things have answers at this time?
I keep reaching out to the unknowns to see if I'll ever find them.
I think that we can receive guidance, but I don't think we can ever truly know how things are going to play out. Much like
Writers of our
Stephen's
own story.
visions, we've been able to see things that could happen. You know, one course the world could take, but we've also seen that those things could be avoided. So even with the power as grand as that, nothing is written in stone.
Or at least not every stone on this shard of glass.
At least not the stones that we can see.
I'll pay for that, by the way.
Damn right you will. If you can afford a suit, you can afford my window. Well, if you had no more philosophy to go over, I actually was hoping to talk to you at some point soon. You're I don't know if you noticed, but you kind of caught fire while we were having our discussion.
He looks down at his hands that are not on fire, and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
What I tell you, perception. From my point of view, your hands absolutely caught fire, and frankly, I would like to know how.
I would need to know how before I could tell you how. Do you ever get the sense that there's just music all around you? There's just music, and that music is colorless, flat.
How literal are we
And you,
talking with music?
well, I know you've reached out to my mind.
True.
I know Noir can do it. I know others can do it. Stephen can do it. And there's these ideas I've had that I've heard in the past. I got the idea when I was talking to Fabian a couple of weeks ago. I drew a butterfly on his hand. And I thought about how all this thinking going on, talking between thoughts, this communication, that it's like you all sing to each other, touching with your thoughts. And beyond us could be the gods, and they pluck strings, and others understand their music. And I think we must, and he starts twitching. I think we must find harmony in the dance. when we find the harmony and he twitches some more, we get to ask ourselves, what music will we make so we don't return to the silence of memory? And he twitches some more.
You feeling okay, Chase?
And you start twitching. Lux will very slowly start heading toward you.
It's kind of getting hot in here.
Would you like to step outside?
Probably.
Got a newly installed door?
Probably.
All right, for real though, let's not go through the window. Follow me.
You'll follow?
She'll lead him out the front.
Does Cassie want to say anything else about anything, or are we going to leave it?
She would ask him to think on how his powers might work, to really try to focus for her to record himself in his spare time. So it'll be some self-discovery. Mm-hmm. Besides, he didn't actually fire up in that scene, did he? With
just his hands.
Yeah.
Okay, I remembered like smoking stuff.
Oh, there was probably smoke coming off the suit at one point, but
okay. Well, then in that case, she'll tell him. She won't just show him straight up, but she'll tell him to look at the file because she's shown him before, like where it saves.
Yeah, but he's never looked at it.
That's why she's telling him to look at it.
All right. Not ready. He will go look for it.
So, week 3. I believe that there are 2 things you guys want to do. One of which was you wanted to bring Kyle to the Ray's house. Who is bringing Kyle to the Ray's house?
Molly is.
Just Molly? Okay.
Just Molly. And yeah, so she will actually she'll go to the police station first to find Kyle.
You guys will make your journey. I'm sure that you can get there by Staravia pretty quickly, or Bullet, of course.
Yeah.
And you will arrive at the Ray's house. Now, they've been gone for a year, so I don't think it's been taken by the government yet, but I'm assuming if they're missing for a much longer period of time, then they'll have to be declared, missing, and it might go to the state. But at any rate, currently the house seems to be unkept. It's very quiet. You can see through the windows. It's very dusty. Nobody's been in this house for a while. So, yeah. Are you sure you want to go in, Miss Moon?
Yeah. Anything to help us find them.
All right. He will go over to the door, and I'm sure that he will have with him some sort of tool that allows them to break into a house with doing minimal damage. He will proceed to open the front door. And Molly, you will see your old house for the first time in years.
Yeah. So she's a little bit overcome with some emotion, but she keeps it down, and she says, "All right. So what would be a good scent?"
Probably the best place to start would be in the bedroom. That's where they spend most of their long time, so if there's any scent in the air left, it would be in there, most likely.
All right, well, let's go. Maybe they left some clothes behind or something.
You guys will go into the bedroom. Everything in this house is dusty. Very dusty and very still. And it still looks nice, but obviously it hasn't been lived in for a year. So when you arrive into the room, Kyle will actually take out his Pokeball, and he will allow Sniffles to emerge. Sniffles will look around, and the Sniffles has a very peculiar expression on its face as it starts sniffing around the room. And Sniffles begins to... something comes over Sniffles as if it believes that it recognizes this area very well. Kyle kind of picks up on it and says, Sniffles, there is something... Are you alright? Sniffles looks very excited, and Sniffles actually starts running out of the bedroom and starts going from room to room to room, as if thinking to itself, I know that place, and I know that spot, and I know that spot. I've never seen Sniffles behave this way. I'm so sorry, Miss Moon. He seems to be in some sort of bizarre state, excited state.
Well, no problem. I don't know how tracking Pokemon work. I mean, maybe he's just trying to find the best scent.
Kyle will say, Sniffles, calm down, calm down. All right, I know that you're excited, but we need you to pick up on the scent of the rays here. And then Sniffles is going to just keep like nodding his head. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means. It probably would have been better if we had brought Nevi with us here.
Well, I mean, feel free to call her. If you don't mind, I'm gonna look around a little bit.
He's gonna dial Nevi's number, but you can go look around. Is there anything in particular you want to do while you're looking around?
She wants to go see her old room.
Sure, you can. It looks like it's been untouched. They have kept your room the same way that you left it.
When Molly sees that, she takes a breath at the door, and she goes and she's looking at some of the pictures on the wall. And some of them are like, when Molly first arrived, she was pretty much poker face in all the pictures, but as the pictures go on, you see her starting to smile a little bit more and more. And starting to like hug the rays a little bit and just smile more with them.
While you are in the room, you will actually hear a light tap on the doorway, and Kyle is there with the phone in his hand still. Miss Moon, so far be it of me to, at this point, react too much with coincidences. But it seems that Sniffles already knows the rays.
Really?
Sniffles was owned by the rays before it was captured by Team Rocket.
Team Rocket?
I assume it wasn't a member of the household while you were still here, and the answer is yes, it was not. Sniffles wasn't there yet.
Team Rocket, huh?
That's where I got him from. We never were able to determine where his previous owners were, but I think, thanks to you, Molly, I think Sniffles is very excited, but sad at the same time that they're not here.
Well, okay, well, how about, ask Nevi to ask Sniffles, how did he get taken from the rays? What happened? Like, who took him?
You'll be able to see a conversation between the two of them, and the Pokemon will Nevi will say through the phone. Apparently, it was two people named Claudia and Claudius.
Okay, the blue-haired people. And Molly is thinking, she's thinking really hard, and she says, I see. Well, that's all from me, Nevi, for now.
Sniffles seems to be saying something else. And Nevi says, "Are you sure?" And Sniffles keeps saying something. Apparently somebody named Cassie was there too.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Nevi. And Molly's kind of somewhat poker face again.
Miss Moon, I think that it's safe to say that Sniffles definitely has the scent ready for when we're close to finding the rays.
Could I have a few minutes by myself before we go?
Sure, of course. Take all the time that you need. Sniffles seems to want to hang out in the house as well.
Okay.
So he says, if you want to hang out with Molly, that's fine too. And so Sniffles will stay next to Molly as Kyle goes outside.
Okay. Molly kind of she pets Sniffles a little bit. She goes up to the wall and she pulls down one of the pictures. It's just a picture of the rays and Molly kind of standing between them. And she just looks at it for a while. And she gets out her phone and she calls Cassie.
What time would you say this would be about in the day?
I'd say after she's finished work, maybe around 5-ish.
Okay. 5-ish?
So that's probably like right when Cassie's getting off, I think, ish.
Sure.
Okay, so she'll be like on her way toward transportation or whatever. Okay, so after a few seconds, she'll answer the call. And just the usual hello.
Cassie.
Hey, Molly, what's up?
How did you run into Dylan?
Oh, right. I told you that I ran into Dylan.
At the time, I thought it was just a joke or something to help me feel better, but...
Did it help you feel better? Alright, how much of the story do you want to hear?
Just don't lie to me, Cassie. What do
Fair
you know?
enough. Okay, so what I know is at one point, a young, insecure girl kind of thrust herself out a little early into the world and got involved with some not-so-great people. And one of the first things that she did involved in that not-so-great people group was to pick up a Pokemon. It didn't really matter what kind of Pokemon, just something to prove her worth, essentially. So she did. They found a Pokemon just kind of out, just waiting for its trainer to get back from whatever business he was attending to. And the Pokemon was lured away pretty easily with the promise of a reward, you know? Pokemon love their berries and all that. So, they successfully nabbed the Pokemon. And the not-so-good bad guys, they drove away. And as fate would have it, a flyer flew into the van and happened to land right in that young, troubled girl's lap. And on that flyer was the picture of another little girl who was missing. Since that day, the thought has troubled the already troubled girl to some great extent. But one day, she happened to run into the missing little girl. See that now, you know, maybe she wasn't quite as lost as she was before. But all the same, she had no idea how to approach the subject. And in the end, figured it best to just leave it be. Figured that it wouldn't fix anything, had she told the little girl. It wouldn't take away what she had done. So, I guess here we are. Do I want to know how you found out?
Molly says nothing, but she quietly hangs up.
Take that as a no.
Okay. Sniffles is going to, raise his trunk and, rub your leg a bit.
They really never stopped looking for me.
Sniffles shakes its head.
They kept everything the way I left it. And I never knew. Molly looks at the picture, and she carefully takes it out of the frame, and she puts it in one of her pockets. And she just sits on her old bed, and she just sits there deep in thought for a little while.
Okay.
And eventually she'll get up.
When you exit the house, Kyle will notice that I'm assuming it's going to be hard for you to hide that you have a little bit of a anxious look on your face.
Mm-hmm.
So, understandably so, Kyle is going to look at you with a very concerned, soft look in his eyes, and he's going to say, Miss Moon, do you want to talk about anything?
Molly looks at the lieutenant and she says, Lieutenant, Kyle,
Molly.
If things had turned out differently, we could have been with Team Omni.
I don't want to believe that would be true. Do you think that could have been true?
I don't know. It's hard to say how things could have been, But I can't know how things could have been if I hadn't left this place. Kyle, could I confess something?
Sure, of course.
This whole time I've always just called you Lieutenant. And it was because it was hard for me to see you as anything except a lieutenant.
I understand that.
The police were the ones who always took me away from my foster homes. Whenever the police were at the door, it meant all of my stuff would be packed in garbage bags. I didn't even have suitcases. I just had garbage bags. And I would be sent off somewhere else.
For most people, when they see a police officer, to them it's a sign of bad things to come.
For a scared young child, it usually was. Even after getting to know you, and even after even after everything we've gone through, it's been hard to see you as a friend instead of a lieutenant. But I just want to thank you for coming here with me today. And
Kyle walks towards you, and he will very slowly wrap his arms around you in a very deep hug. It's a very supportive hug, and he will rub your back as he hugs. I can't tell you that I know exactly how you feel. I can't imagine what you're going through right now. All I can say is I'm here to help in any way I can. That's all I've wanted to do, is to help.
I know that.
We're gonna find the Reyes. Trust me, once Sniffles is determined to find the target, he'll find it.
I just hope we can get them out of there. Thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome, Molly. I'd like to believe that this house will be live again soon. There's a lot of empty spaces where a lot more pictures can be placed.
I need to make up for lost time.
That's right. That's right. Come on. Let's get you back home. And with that, you guys will leave.
Yep.
Is there still going to be a scene where Cassie and whoever else is going to go to Cassie's house?
I think at
Cassie's
this point it
mom's
would
house?
just be Cassie and Kyle.
Okay.
I don't think Cassie would ask Molly to come this time.
It's a little awkward.
It's to be like, I'm gonna give her space. I guess just to establish anything, did he ask for the reason, or?
Yeah, he's going to, actually.
Oh, he's going to. Okay, well then, yeah. Once they
He's going to.
arrive, she'll start leading them inside.
I have to admit, Cassie, I'm not really sure why you asked me to come with you back to your house. It is your house, after all.
Yeah, I'll admit, at first it was going to be you and Molly, but she got busy, so now it's just the two of us. And hope you're okay with that.
It's perfectly fine.
Cool. So, and she'll be talking as she leads him down into the laboratory. And she'll say, as we're both aware, Team Omni is a pretty big threat to us at this point in time. And it's kind of a race to get the Arceus plates. Are you aware of the unfortunate vision we had?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Honestly, I'm surprised. I thought Tiffany would have told you by this point. Well, if you'd like to hear it, in short, we all died, and it was because we didn't have enough of the plates. So, and she'll crouch down in front of, like the divot in the ground, where the magic Pokeball goes.
Yeah.
She'll sling her backpack down and say, so I've decided that it would be in everyone's best interest to hide it where they couldn't find it. Or if they found it, where they couldn't reach it. So she pulls her magic Pokeball out of her backpack and sets it in, its spot, its groove.
And you think that would be better than possibly putting them to very good use in your journey into Johto?
Honestly, right now, yeah. I mean, could it come back to bite me? It could, but if it does, I will take full responsibility, whatever that means at this point. Sorry, yeah, to be a little more transparent with you, the reason that I only brought you and Molly along is because I feel like I can trust the two of you the most in that regard. I'm pretty sure the others would throw a bit of a fit.
I have to admit, I don't really know one way or another what would be the better thing to do.
Cool.
I would like to think that it could be of good use to you out in the field, but if you believe that it would be more dangerous for you to bring them with you, hiding it might actually be a good idea.
And one way to think of it too is they might help us out in Johto, but that would also just paint a bigger target. You know, with all the threats that Johto inherently has, do we really want Team Omni Splicers coming after us too?
Is this something that you want to decide between you and myself and not let the other group have a chance to chime in?
No, the decision's been made. Just figured it'd be nice to have you here. I actually do have a bit of a favor to ask as well.
Before you ask me, the decision's been made by you?
Yes.
And not anybody else.
That's right.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, Cassie, but I would caution you going into, before you guys decide to go into in a situation where you have to rely on each other, it would not be a very good start to the adventure going into Johto if you start making decisions for the group without their input. Just to warn you.
As they're aware, I'll have the plates on me.
So you'll lie to them.
Like I always do.
Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do, Cassie, but I'm just warning you. That's not a good start.
I'm aware, Lieutenant. Thank you. Now, may I ask the favor?
You may ask it, sure.
Yeah, and so I assume when I put out a character, when I put the magic Pokeball in, or when she did, it opened up the same little safe, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then out of her bag, she'll, pull out another Pokeball, and she'll set it in the safe's place, and then remove the magic Pokeball, so it'll all seal up again.
Sure.
So zipping up her backpack, she'll, stand up, throw it over her shoulders, a little sigh, and then hold the magic Pokeball out to him. Whether you want to hold on to this or you want to hide it somewhere, fine by me. Up to you.
I'm a little confused. You're giving me this because you want me to have access to it?
No, because I don't want anyone else to have access to it.
Fair enough.
I mean, the way I see it, that's the only way to get into the safe.
I believe so. At least Team Rocket wasn't able to open it themselves.
So I know that if we needed the plates, you would absolutely be willing to let us in and get them. And I also believe that even if in the worst of situations, you would not give up the magic Pokeball or the location of it. So I believe that with you, this is safe.
I have to admit, I'm very flattered, Cassie.
We might not have always seen eye to eye, but I know that I can trust you in some regards. I mean, you're good at what you do. Like, I'd be stupid not to see that.
I appreciate that. And for what it's worth, I know you're good at what you do as well.
Still don't trust I have the best intentions, or?
I believe you have the best intentions.
Just not the best approach.
Just from a leadership position, I think that your choices of lying and not speaking to your group is going to be a detriment to your mission. And I think that, just my opinion from personal experience, I think that you are setting yourself up for failure.
And I might be. But, I guess I'm pretty good at doing that, so we'll see how it plays out, hopefully for the best, for everyone's sake.
I think it's fair to tell you, though, that if anyone asks me directly about the plates, I'm not in any obligation to lie to them.
That's fair. Can you at least, for me, try not to steer conversation toward the plates until we're in Johto?
I will not steer the conversation. I can promise you that. But if the topic is breached and they ask me about it...
Hey, if the fence is comfortable, sit on it all you'd like. Well, if you agree to take care of that Pokeball, again, you do with it what you want. I won't ask. I don't want to know. Then I guess we're done here.
All right, then. By the way, how's your mother doing, Cassie?
We've started treatment, so hopefully we'll see improvement. It's a process, but a good one, so.
I hope so. All right. So you guys will leave. By the middle of the 3rd week, well, maybe you're in the living room watching TV or doing something along those lines, and you hear some noise coming from the kitchen as if some plates or bowls had fallen on the floor.
That's why we put them in the safe.
Well, not those kind. Yes, not those kind.
Oh, thank
plates.
Goodness! I was worried.
Not those kind. Yes.
Okay. Perks up. Off to investigate, I suppose.
You go over to investigate, and you see your mom is sitting on the floor as if she had collapsed. And there are some bowls that are... There are a couple of bowls that are on the floor. One seems to have cracked. Not shattered, but seems to have cracked. And your mom's like, rubbing her head a little bit. Almost as if it looks like she's got a migraine of some sort.
Yeah, she definitely perks up, tends to seeing that, so she'll run over and just, crouch down with her. Mom, are you okay? Feeling all right?
Cassie, is that your voice? Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Hey.
Where am I? I don't recognize this. This isn't our house. Cassie, what is this place?
Okay, Mom, look at me. What do you remember?
She shakes her head a little bit and, and closes her eyes a bit as if trying to focus on remembering. I remember being at home, making dinner, and I see people I don't recognize. Lots of people in this big room, almost like a cafeteria.
No, keep going. Do you remember more?
I'm trying to. I remember something really violent happening wherever we were. And I see you, and you look very angry about something. You seem very, very upset. And then I see lots of faces of people I don't recognize, I don't remember. Oh wait, I remember one. Yes, your friend. Chase, I think is his name. Yes, I remember him.
Yeah. It's good. Yes, I do have a friend named Chase.
Everyone else seems really fuzzy, though. Although I do remember this beautiful-looking green dress that a friend of yours made for me.
No, that didn't. Okay, good.
That didn't
happen?
happen?
It did. I'm sorry. Okay, Mom. Don't freak out. But I'm going to explain something, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, what was the first thing I said? Don't freak out.
She looks at you and she's listening.
Okay. So, do you remember how disappointed you were in me when you learned I had joined Team Rocket?
Yes, I do. I do. And we haven't talked to each other for a very long time since then.
That's right.
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember ever coming to accept and maybe even approve of my decision to join Team Rocket?
I feel like It's weird. I feel like I remember saying that I was perfectly fine with it. I just don't remember. I just don't remember that actually happening, though. But I feel like I still remember it happening all the same.
It did happen, but it wasn't you. Unfortunately, they weren't happy with the fact that I left them. Team Rocket, that is. So they targeted you. Right? I want you to know that now you're safe. We got you out. That time you remember where I was really pissed off? That was us getting you out of there.
I'm sorry, Cassie. This doesn't make very much sense.
I know. It's weird. I'm not usually that badass, but at the time, trust me.
So Team Rocket tried to go after you?
They did, yes. They had a psychic on their side mess with your memories, mess with your feelings. But this is good. This is good. We're currently having you treated. Do you know Sabrina, the gym leader?
I don't know. I don't know, Cassie. I don't know.
Okay, well, she's very good at what she does, and she's a very good person. She recommended how we could help you get your real memories back. And this is showing me that it's working.
There's something like buzzing in my head, though. It's very strange. It's very painful.
Just a headache?
Yes, it's just like on the back of my head. It's like things are pressure. I don't know how to describe it.
And out of character, would they have said anything about like effects like this, or would she know with an occult or something? If this was normal,
They're definitely headaches is very normal. Headaches are
okay.
very
So this
normal.
doesn't seem like anything.
It doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. Now, they do say that on one of the warnings is, because of how intense the therapy can be, is that if headaches continue to persist, then that could lead to an aneurysm.
Oh,
If they continue to persist.
should avoid that. When you say continue to persist, like how much persistence are we talking?
I mean, you can take painkillers for it, but if it continues for 2 or 3 days, then they should probably take a look at her in a hospital to make sure that there's nothing wrong.
Okay.
From a medical standpoint, as opposed to a psychological standpoint.
So then Cassie will, slowly nod, start to pick up speed, and like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, but that they told us that might happen. It should be nothing. Make sure to let me know how you feel as soon as you wake up. But we'll see if you can sleep it off, okay?
She shakes her head a little bit, and then she looks at you and says, "Cassie, is that you? Where am I? I don't know where I am," she says as he looks around.
Mom, it's me. What do you last remember?
She thinks for a moment. Chili. I remember making chili. Are you hungry, Cassie? Would you like some chili? She says. Her headache seems to have gone away.
No, I just ate.
Oh, well, maybe we can invite some of your friends over. They might be hungry for chili.
How about we plan it for another day?
All right.
Sorry, I've talked to my friends. They're busy. That's how life gets.
She says, "It's been really nice. I haven't seen Tiffany or Molly or Noir or Chase in a while. Are you good friends with Chase?"
I am perhaps his best friend.
Oh, are you just friends? Or maybe more than just friends?
She'll weakly smile at that and chuckle a little bit and say, I'm still seeing how things pave out, so I'll let you know soon, okay?
Oh, well, he just seems like a very nice young man. I was just thinking that, he's very good. He seems to be a very good person for you, perhaps, maybe.
No, it's kind of embarrassing hearing that from my mom, but I was thinking the same thing. Do you think I should go for it?
Oh, I don't know if you like him and he likes you, then why not? I mean, I like him very much too, so I approve.
All right, I think then I'll test the waters a little bit longer.
It would be nice to see him around more often, yes.
I agree. He's a good guy. Well, I think I'm gonna get to bed. You might want to consider doing the same somewhat soon.
All right. Well, she will get up and give you a kiss on the forehead. Well, sweet dreams, my special little girl.
Sweet dreams, Mom.
And she will leave the kitchen completely, like, oblivious to the fact that there's still bowls and a shattered one on the floor. Like, completely oblivious.
Cassie would pick those up.
Okay.
I think the night after the visit to the Ray's house, Molly's going to visit Alicia again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when she knocks on the door, she's clearly been crying. She's holding the picture that she took.
She will open the door, and so Minerva is actually going to be on perched on one shoulder, and Nugget is going to be perched on her other shoulder. And she'll say, "Molly, come in. You look like you're upset."
Yeah. I went to the Ray's house, and I got this picture of us.
Oh, Molly, they look like such sweet people.
They left my room the way it was. They were always waiting for me.
I think that's absolutely... That's amazing, Molly. You should feel... I know it hurts, but I think that you should feel happy that they cared so much, right?
I know they cared so much.
I know it'd be easier if it seemed like they didn't, but I think this is a good thing, though.
Molly will come in, she'll sit down, and she'll dig through her bag, and she'll actually give Alicia a piece of paper.
Okay. Is there anything on the piece of paper?
Yeah, and it's a picture of two coffee cups kind of clinking together. One coffee cup has a picture of Alicia's face on it. The other coffee cup has a picture of Molly's face on it. And the steam rising out of both cups forms a heart.
Oh. So is this drawn?
Yeah, it's drawn. Just a pencil drawing.
Oh, Molly, this is so creative and so pretty. Thank you.
I wanted to give that to you. And she says, I'm going to Johto soon.
Yes, I know.
I want to say I'm so sorry about worrying you, and for every moment that you spend worrying about me. I'm so sorry. I'll be thinking of you the whole time.
Well, you know I'll be thinking of you too. And just like the Rays were, I'll be waiting for you as well. I mean, I don't have a room here yet that I can, you know, leave untouched, but it'd be nice if that were to be a thing someday. Right?
Yeah, I like the thought of that. And Molly, like, she wipes her eyes.
I wish I could go with you, you know?
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I wish you could too.
But I think that it sounds like whatever you all are doing, me being there might make things worse. I feel like it would distract you too much if, you know, you always had to be around to make sure that I wasn't messing up and getting myself, you know, in any danger, knowing me. But if I wish I could, though.
Everything I'm doing, I'm not just doing it to protect the Rays and my friends. I'm doing it to protect you also. Because you're my treasure. You're my pearl.
Oh.
And
She smiles.
that it sounds so cheesy, I know.
But if it's true, that's all that matters, right?
I want to protect you. And I want to keep you safe. It's why I have to go.
I know. And I know you're going to make me very proud.
That's what I want. And Molly will lean in for a kiss.
She will also lean in and return the kiss.
Yeah.
She will, after the kiss, she will pull away very slowly, and she will look into your eyes and say, "I love you, Molly Moon."
I love you, Alicia Pearl. And Molly smiles and she chuckles a little bit. She says, "You know, we're newlyweds, apparently."
True.
Talk about the cart before the horse, right? Cart before the bonita, right?
Well, we will definitely have to figure out a honeymoon once you come back from your business trip then.
Well, no reason why we can't celebrate a little bit right now, right?
That's true. That's very true.
Molly,
But I should also say that the Alolan Islands are very nice as well. Just saying.
well, I've never been there, but I'll put it on the list. And Molly says, I have really good memories of us being on a couch together. Suppose that's a good start, though.
I think so too. I know that you have to leave soon, but you don't have to leave now.
Yeah. Let's just take some time.
Of course. And she will lean in for another kiss.
Yep, she'll return the kiss.
Okay. Very sweet.
One of the nights when Ian can't sleep, Lux has stolen his Sharpie and is drawing. Okay, Lux is drawing. Does Ian notice?
Yeah. No, I'm assuming that they hang out, and it's mostly that it's a one-sided conversation usually with Chase and Lux, where Chase, whatever out of character, so whatever I RP for all intents and purposes, Lux would just know. Chase would repeat some of the stuff back, What he doesn't repeat is anything to do with the fire. There's a couple gaps in his stories. Unfortunately, Lux can't convey back to him that those gaps are in place. So Chase moves forward.
This was something I was going to do Dream World, but we never seem to get the Pokemon there.
Mm-hmm. Same, but yeah.
Okay.
So he notices him drawing.
Gestures like, come over.
Mm-hmm. He hovers over.
On the sheet of paper is 3 different drawings. In the middle is a pack of Pikachus, and off to one side is what people think of as the Mimikyu silhouette in the Pikachu costume. Lux taps that one.
Is that who you were before?
Then, arrow pointing down, there's a large-looking man in a Houndour, and the still Mimikyu silhouette, but you can see like where there's been scar lines drawn into the costume. And then Lux proceeds to draw an X with the Sharpie through that.
That's where you ended up and you don't want it anymore? The man
Then,
controlling you?
Sorry.
Or the man controlling you? This man from the city?
Yeah.
Is he still around? Did you kill him?
Shakes head no. For a long time, looks at man and then proceeds to take Sharpie and start stabbing with it, scratching through and out. Eventually probably breaks through the paper. Shakes head, picks the Sharpie back up, draws an equal sign over to the left of it, and starts drawing 4 female frames and the respective Pokemon. Taps that, then taps back to the Pikachu clan. Then looks at you.
You knew 3 Pokemon masters that had Pikachus?
Oh, I don't know if I'm not conveying this right. It's our group plus their Pokemon.
Oh, female frames. Somehow I didn't even acknowledge that I'm the only male here. So for that one moment.
Yeah, we noticed.
I see. The small one, the less small one, the less small one.
And the average size one.
So the 5. The 4 of the 5.
Well, it's everyone in the group.
Yeah, gotcha. What are you saying? You belong to this family?
He taps to the equal sign again, and then between the 2 pictures with the Pikachu pack and the other group of people.
Do you think that we're going to become like the other people? I wish I could know exactly what the other people did to you to make you think that we could become something you don't want. At the end of the day, we don't really need the other people.
Looks at our group of people and their Pokemon, draws little hearts over them. He likes these people.
You feel good around these people? Chase pulls out the papers from Lobel's office, the registration papers, and he puts them on the table. He says, these papers here will make you legal in the city.
Looks confused.
Chase puts Lux onto the chair that he had Anthony on. And Chase sits down on the chair that is a little bit singed. And he takes hold of the papers. He starts flipping through them, and he reads some of the lines out to Lux and what it means to be a registered Pokemon that is under the care of someone who will take responsibilities if anything is done by this Pokemon. Reiterates the fact that he's a dangerous Pokemon within the city walls. And he he starts to just, he stops flipping the papers, and then he says, "You know, we're going to be going to Johto soon. We're going to be leaving the city." At the end of the day, this is all just a cage. I freed you from a cage, and that's the oldest memory I got back. And when I found you, you freed me from the cage, which was, I never looked into anything. I never tried to figure anything out. I never asked questions. I don't remember anything until I met you. So you open up that cage to that darkness. And he looks at the papers again. And he says, "We were never meant to be in cages, Lex." And the area around them starts to go light. It starts to look like it's daytime. And his chair starts to singe a little bit. And he says, "We were never, ever meant to be in cages. And soon we are going to be free." And the papers light up on fire.
Looks confused for a moment, but nods.
We're going to get out of here. We might not come back. But we'll make a new life. But not within these walls. You shouldn't have to be controlled. You understand? Not by me, not by the city, not by the law, and not by these papers.
Gets up, starts crossing across table, skirts way around fire, and gets in Ian's lap.
And Chase will look down at the smoking chairs and stuff, and he starts to get a little bit nervous because he's actually noticing the fire from the papers, and he's looking around for what might have lit the papers on fire. He can't find the matches or anything. And then he looks at the chair that Anthony was in. "Do you remember someone sitting across from me, Lux?" And then he feels the pattern of the burn on his chest. "Did I do anything that seemed odd?"
Shrugs, like, not weird for you, but...
And then Chase pulls out his phone, and he's about to play the video, but he shuts down the phone and puts the phone on the table. He doesn't watch anything. "You know you're there to stop me if I go too far, right?"
Gestures back to paper where man was and nods and taps him.
We'll
His
figure
eyes
out a
go
way
red
for
for
you.
a moment, and then they go back down to black.
We're going to get you to the church so that you can explain yourself properly. We're going to bless you.
No clue what you're talking about.
You're going to come into the... Remy might have said something about having visited the dream world and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to get you into the dream world. We'll have a talk about this. Good.
Okay.
And then the daylight goes away. Yeah, and then the light just goes back to darkness around them.